Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany, and today I'm going to be talking about some middle grade fantasy series, and I have a special guest with me today. This is my daughter. Can you tell them your name?
Claire.
Yes, this is Claire, and you are how old?
8.
8 years old. So we wanted to share Claire's top 5 most favorite fantasy middle grade series with you today. The first series on this list is the Rose Legacy series by Jessica Day George. Claire, could you tell us a little bit about this series?
It's about certain somebody who you can kind of see on the cover named Anthea, and it also includes a sort of horse you can see on the cover named Florian. That somebody named Anthea sent beyond a wall where all the people who are exiled go. If you read it, you will know what the further part of the book is about.
And doesn't Anthea learn to like speak to horses and be able to like know what they're thinking and feeling?
Telepathy-like.
Yeah, telepathy-like. So, if you like fantasy and you love horses, you might love this series. Claire, what was some of the things that you loved about this series?
Well, I definitely like the horses.
Yeah, definitely. The next series that is on this list is the Peter and the Starcatcher series. We do not own this series, but Claire has gotten it from the library multiple times. Can you tell us a little bit about the Peter and the Starcatcher series?
It's basically a prologue series to Peter Pan and about how Peter finds out how to fly, about this mysterious material powder called star stuff, which is actually pixie dust.
What did you like best about this series?
Well, I definitely like the star stuff part, and I definitely liked the last book, which featured it like a long time later, like a...
Oh, it like skipped it. Didn't it skip ahead to modern day?
Not modern day. It skipped forward to like 1901, I think.
Oh, okay.
Cause it was like when the mother of Wendy was like, probably like a 10-year-old or something. So and then skip forward to when she was an adult.
So if you like Peter Pan, would they like this series?
Maybe. I'm not entirely sure because it's actually pretty kind of different-ish.
Oh, okay.
And it's got a lot of other details. Like towards the end of the first book, it showed how Tinker Bell was made. Like.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So it's kind of, like Claire said, kind of a prologue to the original Peter Pan book, which Claire also really likes. The next series is actually one of my favorite middle grade fantasy series as well, and that is the Tuesdays at the Castle series by Jessica Day George. Claire, can you tell us a little bit about this book?
It's about a girl named Celie. I couldn't really look at
there's
it.
Celie. Claire loved this book so much that she named her hamster after the main character.
Yep.
So it's about Princess Celie.
And she lives in Glower Castle, which can move. That moves every Tuesday. So you basically never know what's going to happen. Like, you never know if the dining room is all of a sudden going to be moved to the other half of the castle. Like, you don't know whether or not that's going to happen next Tuesday.
Yeah, and Celie is trying to map the castle.
And that proves kind of hard.
Yeah.
Because...
so, Claire, what did you enjoy about this series?
Well, obviously the castle. And obviously that certain little somebody on the cover.
The reason I loved this book so much is I felt it was a very unique premise for a story. The castle is, you know, still an inanimate object to an extent because it doesn't speak or anything like that. but in a way it's almost a character of the story because it plays such an integral part, and it moves and creates rooms and removes rooms, and it was just really fascinating, and I've never really read anything like it before. Highly recommend, right, Claire?
Yep. And also that somebody never finished the series and only read that.
No, I have only read the first book. Way to call me out, Claire. I've only read the first book, but I loved it, and I actually want to get to the other. I think there are 5 books. The next book on this series is a newer one that we have discovered. Well, it's not a newer series, but it's new to us, and that is The Fire Within. I found the first 4 books of this at a Salvation Army for like 50 cents each, and they looked intriguing, and we picked them up, and sure enough, it is one of Claire's new favorite fantasy series. So Claire, can you tell us about this series?
Well, as if you read the back of this book, you would be able to tell it's about somebody who does not happen to be on the cover, named David, who's in college, and he goes to rent a room in this house, and it is owned by people named Penny Kettles.
It's a nice last name, I like that.
Yeah, Penny Kettle, and they make clay dragons. And David thinks it seems as though the dragons are alive.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. I have not read this series yet, but Claire really likes it. What did you like about this series, Claire?
Well, the dragons, and
who doesn't love dragons in a fantasy book? Am I right?
David ends up writing a story in the book.
Oh, he writes a story in the book. That's pretty cool.
It's about
a story within a story.
It's about the girl named Lucy, about what she named some scrolls, and it was called Snigger and the Nut Beast.
Sounds awesome. We have saved the best for last, haven't we, Claire? This is Claire's absolute favorite middle grade fantasy series, at least at the moment, and it was one that I really like too, and that is Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. Claire, can you tell us a little bit about what this book is about?
It is about this just so happens to be here person on the cover named Sophie.
This is Sophie.
And in the first, maybe second chapter of the book, she discovers she's elf.
Yep, she's not human, she's an elf.
And she can read people's minds, and human thoughts tend to be loud.
Yes.
So
towards the beginning of the book, she actually goes to live in the elven world. I will say that the elves in the story are not at all like traditional elves in fantasy stories. This is no Lord of the Rings style elves at all. They are very technologically driven, and it's very, very different. So if you can let go of your presupposition of what elves in fantasy should look like, you'll really enjoy this book. What did you like so much about this book, Claire?
well, I basically just liked a lot of it.
This is a pretty long series. I believe right now there are 8 books, and the series is not completed yet. I have only read the first 2 books the end of last year, and haven't gotten to the rest. And Claire, which book are you on?
6.
Book 6. She started these books in the middle of January, and they are thick books, like really, really thick. How long is the one you're reading right now?
794 pages.
That's the longest one so far. Most of them are around 500 or 600 pages, and she read the first 5 books in like 2 weeks. So that tells you how much she loves it. Of course, she's a very quick reader and a voracious reader,
This
but
one
still.
is...
How long is that one?
And this one is 488 pages.
Yeah, so pretty long.
And the 7th book is even thicker. Probably, it's definitely over 800 pages.
Yep, and we just got book 8 in the mail. And then I'm sure we will be eagerly awaiting the next book. So, here are the series minus Peter and the Starcatchers because we don't own that, but we probably should, given how much Claire likes it. So these are fantasy middle grade series that we recommend to kids everywhere, and probably adults too, huh? You think adults would like them as well? I liked the ones I read out of them. Like I said, there's a few of them I haven't read. I can't keep up with her anymore. She speeds away ahead of me. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit like and you can subscribe. Also, I'm sure we will have more kid reviews coming in the future. Please let me know in the comments down below, have you read any of these series or have your kids? And let us know what your thoughts were. And if you have other fantasy middle grade recommendations, please leave them in the comments because Claire's always looking for new books to read. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.